So, hello everyone, and welcome to our meditation together. And one of the remarkable aspects of being human is the ability to be conscious, the ability to be aware. And that awareness, being conscious, has many facets. At different times, different facets are emphasized. And one of those is the ability to recognize what's happening, to be aware and to recognize. But the recognition is, there's different kinds of recognition. This morning I woke up fairly early, about an hour before I usually do, and felt quite awake and refreshed. And I thought, wow, this is an hour before I usually do my morning meditation. So, I could probably do some things. I have a long to-do list, and maybe I'll do some things and have less to do during the day. And then I said, no, I can also meditate longer. So I sat down to meditate, and still with thoughts that I should maybe be doing things. And as soon as I sat into my meditation posture and kind of settled in, I realized that my thinking about what should I do here, it's early in the morning, should I do some of my to-do list, or should I meditate? That was all kind of was a lot of thinking, and the recognition. There was a deeper recognition that happened when I sat down to meditate. When I sat down and got into my posture, that immediately there was this knowing in my body that I was home. Immediately there was a knowing of, oh, this is good. This is settled. This is the place to be. And that recognition was not in the same discursive thoughts that I had when I was considering what to do with my time. This was a deeper knowing, deeper cognition that felt much more embodied. Oh, the body knows. Oh, yes, this is the place to be. This is right. And so then I settled in. I felt affirmed in my decision to meditate. And this way of being connected to the body and letting the body be an informant. Let the body. How does the body cognize? How does the body know? What does the body know? And sometimes the body knows before the mind thinks about something. If we're uncomfortable in our body, the discomfort occurs before the cognitive, intellectual labeling of it. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. It might happen seemingly at the same time, but there's a little gap between them. And a gap that is noticed when it's possible to sit quietly in meditation. And the body, there's a knowing that things are uncomfortable, but there's no thinking about it. There's no reaction to it. There's no higher cognition in the knowing of it. It's almost like a silent knowing. And this knowing that I was, in the right place meditating, this is good to sit here. It was a silent knowing in the sense that it wasn't really the mind talking or thinking or imagining, just the body speaking. So, our ability to be aware of the body is such a powerful thing, so helpful. Not always easy, the body's challenging. A lot of pain, a lot of discomfort can exist. But below the level of thinking about it, reacting to it, what happens? What does the body know? How does the body settle in? How do we really become attuned to our bodily experience. So, assuming a posture, and mindfulness can begin in meditation with mindfulness of the posture, taking some time to maybe sway back and forth, or maybe rock back and forth a little bit, and kind of to become a little bit more embodied, but also to find a nice midpoint in which to sit or lay in a good, balanced posture. And then to gently close your eyes. And without much else to do, what are you aware of in your body now? If you attune yourself to your body, familiarize yourself with the body. Maybe almost as like you're listening to the body. And then as a gentle way to expand the sensations of your body, the range of what you sense and feel in your body, take a few long, slow, deep breaths, 3/4 full. And gently exhale, long, relaxed exhale. And then being attuned to your body, following kind of a pace that feels relaxed for the body, return to a normal breathing. And as you exhale, in a relaxed way, no hurry, relax any parts of your body where there's holding, where it's easy to relax. Relaxing around the face, let the area of your lips be relaxed so the lips are not pressing against each other. Some people find it a little bit relaxing to have the tongue gently touching the upper palate, the roof of the mouth. Relaxing the shoulders. Can you relax a bit your upper back. Maybe if you do so, it feels like you should adjust your back a little bit. And on the exhale, softening the belly. Sometimes if the belly relaxes and hangs forward, down, it might also feel appropriate to adjust the posture a little bit. Adjust the spine. Relax the fingers. And then center yourself on the body's experience of breathing. And maybe the emphasis can be to allow the body to have its own experience of breathing. The body can have its own knowing of the movements, the sensations of breathing. And knowing that's deeper than the skin. The body's knowing that is not the same thing as thinking about the body. In fact, as you exhale, see if you can let go of thinking or let go with your interest in thinking. So your interest can be in the body's experience as it breathes in and breathes out. letting the thinking mind become quieter, so you're better able to feel and sense the body knowing itself. the more we can feel our body and let the body's awareness of itself become fuller, the more the body's own process of healing, of making whole, has a chance to unfold. The settling, the calming of the body, the opening of the body, the awakening of the body allows for all kinds of wonderful healing and processes, understanding processes, deeper understanding of our life. And it gives a different character to our capacity to care, for compassion, for love, for friendliness, when it's embodied in a relaxed, healed body, when it's relaxed and open, when it seems to vibrate or resonate from the body. And as we come to the end of the sitting, to turn this body awareness out into the world. And the art is to stay centered in the body and simply to become aware of the world around us in some kind of intuitive way. The people in your communities, people you'll encounter, people you'll learn about and communicate with today. And may you stay in your body, in your contact with others. Stay in your body and let that be a place from which friendliness and care can flow. Not from your thoughts so much, not from the mental shoulds and shouldn'ts, but from a sweetness within. And with whatever sweetness, tenderness, gentleness, beauty that we have within, may we wish well on the world. May we wish for the welfare and happiness of others. May it be that we contribute to the happiness of others. May it be that we contribute to the safety of others. May it be that we contribute to peace for others. And may it be that we contribute to the freedom of others. And that as we do so so it grows our own happiness and safety and peace and freedom. May all beings be happy. So this week we're talking about mindfulness of the body, and I think it can be one of the wonderful results of this doing mindfulness practice is to become more embodied. And many years ago I read a ancient Mahayana Buddhist text that insisted that we don't get enlightened through the mind, we get enlightened through the body. And whether that's literally true or not, it's kind of an inspiring idea that certainly as we practice mindfulness, slowly, perhaps for some of us, certainly for me, the body wakes up, kind of awakening of the body. And we have more and more access to sensing and feeling the body. There are people who, for all kinds of reasons, important reasons, significant things happen to them, difficult things, that it's very difficult to be in their body. The body is not a safe place to be. It feels like you tap into fear or terror even sometimes to really drop in and feel the body. So to emphasize the wonderfulness of being in the body is a kind of a careful thing to do because of how difficult it is. Some people live kind of from their neck up or from their waist up and feel really disconnected from parts of their body. And so for today, the emphasis is recognition as an aspect of mindfulness practice. These 5 days of the week, it's relaxation, recognition, respect, restoration, and release. And today's recognition, and the again part of recognition is kind of to reconnect to the body, to spend time getting to know it, and to learn to do it in a way that is not frightening or not distressing, but to do it with a kind of gentleness and care, and for some people to do it in very short periods of time. Spend a little bit touching in and then pull out, and just as long as it's safe. And I know for some people, I've given them the instructions when there's been really difficult things in the body, that to imagine awareness is like a soft cotton ball, that we gently reach down and touch the place that's difficult, and just like touch it with that softness of the cotton ball, and then pull back and let it be, just so it's known and felt, and maybe know it a little bit, and then pull back. And slowly over time, in different ways, the body reveals itself to us. Sometimes it can be through discomfort. As the mind gets quieter, as the body settles down, we go through the layers of where the body is held and where there's tension. And there's layers of tension we have that we're not aware of because the coarser tension holds it in place, or kind of hides it or covers it, kind of. And so when the coarser tension relaxes, then we're aware of deeper tension. And slowly there's a greater connection to the body. But it's not just a connection to the body as if the body is something separate from you. The body has its own awareness, its own, and often we call it sensing. Sensing and sensations belong to the body, and the place where we, like if I touch my hand, I have sensations of warmth and pressure against the palm of my hand now, and then and those sensations of warmth and pressure occur in the location where the other hand is pushing against the left hand here for me. So sensing, the raw immediate sensing, occurs in the body in the place where the sensations occur. And I like to say that sensing and sensations are non-dual. They're not really two different things. And then separate from that, I know the body knows it's warm when I touch. It knows the pressure. And separate from that, I can have the cognitive thought where I put the English word warmth, pressure on it. And if I speak a different language, I would use a different sound to represent that. Just sounds that we use to represent things, these words that we have. And so we use different but the body has already sensed it. The body feels it. And so this sensing body starts to wake up as we do mindfulness, and the parts that are numb or been disconnected get reconnected. And so this recognition is also a remembering, the putting the members of the body back together again that have been disconnected. And there starts to slowly over time to be a flow kind of harmony, a flow of the body. The whole body kind of just hums in a very nice way. But the path to that is to appreciate this deeper recognition. So mindfulness practice uses the recognition part of mindfulness is actually extremely significant in mindfulness practice. And there are different, and so it works in different ways. But it's always simple. It's not a story. It's not an explanation of why it's there. It's not a review of everything. It almost like recognition doesn't have. It's almost like what we recognize doesn't have a history. It's just recognizing in the moment what's here. And so if I recognize the chest expanding as I breathe in. It's just the expansion, just feeling and sensing the expansion, feeling the movement. And then in addition, we can have the mental aspect. And the mental part of mindfulness practice is sometimes to use a mental note. And that mental note, a label, a sound, is just is using a sound, a word, that recognizes what it is we just were experiencing. So expansion of the chest, movement that I feel. So breathing in, and but that's two different forms of recognition happening. It's the immediacy of what's happening in the chest, and then a very quiet, kind of maybe in the background almost, there's a mental recognition movement, the expansion that's happening. Or if there's a pain in the knee, pain is happening. But it's kind of like 5% of what the mind is doing is the label. It's not like we're, pounding the mental note into the experience. It's more like a gentle brushing of it. Now this recognition, both the mental noting and the feeling of it, to really be part of that and enter into this recognition mode, is an alternative to discursive thought. It's an alternative to wandering off or flowing along with a storyline or a commentary line or explanation or a prediction of what's going to happen. All the ways we can kind of get involved in discursive thought. And the idea is that the recognition begins to cut through that. Sometimes I think of it as the sword that cuts through the Gordian knot, that our mental world of discursive thoughts can be so complicated, and so many ideas that we live in, and complicated histories and stories. And then we cut through it by just breathing. That's an in-breath. That's an out-breath. There's a sound. Listening. Now there's an itch. Now I'm back with the breathing. The stomach is tight. Relaxing the belly. And it's just coming back to that simplicity. And so using the simple act of recognition to help us be engaged nicely in the present moment without being hijacked or pulled into the world of thinking. We don't have to struggle against thoughts. In a few weeks I'll talk about mindfulness of thinking. But for now, the idea is to kind of cut through it, to keep it really simple, the meditation. Mindfulness of thinking and the role of thinking, it comes later. But for right now, we use the simplest kind of thinking to help us stay present. And that's that very simple one-word cognition of things. Pressure, warmth, expansion. If it's more than a word, it probably is not simple recognition. And but don't, but, and to, so use the mental noting, very gentle, soft, or something that's close to it. If your mind is able to really stay close to that simple recognition without a mental note, you don't have to use the mental noting. But the mental noting is a kind of way of staying honest, really knowing that you're not wandering off in thought, and just kind of steady pace. Breathe in, out, expansion, hearing, discomfort, pleasure, whatever it might be we're feeling and sensing, and and uh, and then so whether it's the cognition of a mental note or the cognition of the body's own knowing, the knowing that's much more silent, whichever helps you to cut through the thinking mind and connect you to something that's living, alive, because it's a miracle to be conscious. This wonderful thing that I started off with about human awareness, that it's an amazing thing. And to stay close to the living moment, the living experience of life, where cognition, consciousness, awareness, mindfulness keeps us in our animated body, keeps us in our living body, the lived experience. And the more we can recognize and open up and be present for this, eventually we start feeling and allowing for the healing potential, healing power of this body that we have. Healing not necessarily from physical illness and injury and things like that, but a kind of a deeper kind of healing, spiritual healing, healing of awareness, that this hum that moves through the whole body and becomes whole. So I hope that made sense, and to really get to know the body well is such a blessing. So I'd encourage you through the day today, next 24 hours, for those of you in a different time zone, to get to know your body better. Listen to it. Maybe even have a timer on that goes on every few minutes, 10 minutes or something, and then check in with your body. Check in with your body. Every time you go through a door frame, every time that you change your posture from sitting to walking to whatever you do, standing, whenever you pick up a new utensil, cooking or eating, check what you have. Find different things to just check in. What's happening in the body? What is the body showing? If I listen to my body now, what do I learn? Recognize the body. So, thank you.